Hello there. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms. This tutorial video is about Pega CSA. The Pega CSA is designed for developers and technical staff members who want to learn how to develop Pega applications or directly involved in the design and construction of applications built on Pega. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and check out other videos related to the latest technologies on our Upptalk channel. This video will be covered by Mr. Thija, who is a certified trainer in Pega CSA. Let's get started.
Okay. If you keep a deep page as a savable data page, this data save option will be enabled. Mostly we'll use database save and activity. Connectors also might be used, but not frequently. Okay. If you keep activity there,
right now it is recording right now.
Yeah, it is recording.
Yes.
No, select activity. See, it is asking for the activity name. You can do your custom activity inside it. Like you can do your custom save, whatever you want based on when conditions and all, you can save it. Okay, whatever the activity you need, you can configure it here. And you can use OBJ save and all methods inside an activity to save it. Okay. And go to the top, like yeah, mode you have no, click on a mode. Yeah, read only, editable and savable. Let me repeat one more time. Read only is like you cannot modify a data even if in the clipboard, and if it is an editable data page, you can make a changes in a clipboard. For your representation or some data manipulations, you can make a changes in the clipboard. And if it is a savable data page, you can make a changes on a clipboard, and you can save the data back to the database also. Okay, you can save the data back to the database also. Okay, you understand it? What is a mode of a data page? Read-only, editable, and savable. Savable data pages were introduced in latest versions of Pega, like it was introduced in some 8.1 or 8 series, I guess. Okay, savable. Previously, there are only two modes, read-only and editable. Now they have introduced savable data pages also. Okay. Now click on read only. Okay, so select read only. Now if you see the scope, there will be three scopes: thread, requester, and node. Okay, if you keep editable, only two nodes will be there. Can you select editable? See, only two nodes, thread and requester. If you keep savable, also two nodes only will be there. See, thread and requester. Okay, now you select a read only. Let me tell you. Okay, listen carefully. Like all the applications, okay, not only the Pega application, all the application will be hosted on a server, right? Hosted on a server, right? That server contains so many operators, right? Like each server might contain so many operators who are actually hosted on a particular server. Okay, now each operator might contain different applications. Like suppose there is an operator, like she might have access to GoGo Road application or same organization. But if suppose I was hosted in the same server, I might have access to different application, like any other application. Okay, you understand the concept, right? You look it in the high level, like every application will be hosted on a server. Each server will be having multiple operators. Each operator might have different applications or different what you can say, or different access groups. Okay, based on an access group only your application will be defined. So you understand the structure, right? Server is a whole big circle. Inside servers you will be having a inside servers you will be having operators. For operators, each operator will be having a particular access group or a particular application context. Any questions still now? This
You mean
part
to say
server.
roles assigned to the particular user, right? I mean,
Yeah,
operator.
correct. If suppose there is any user called a manager, okay, manager will be having a different access group and different applications and all. If suppose he is in front office worker, he
Supervisor
will be
or
having, yeah, supervisor. If he is supervisor, he'll be having a different thing, right?
yes.
Now in Pega, like server is called a node. Okay, let me tell you, server is called a node. Operators are called requesters. Okay, operators are called requesters. Now let's say every application will be hosted on a node. Each node will be having a, so many requesters. Okay, each requester will be having different threads opened in him. Suppose Sonali is one requester. Now if she opened a clipboard, once you open your clipboard, if you open a clipboard, you can see her threads. Like, yeah, now it's visible. You can see those are the threads, right? Now, what we can say, those are the threads of Sonali. Similarly, for every operator, there will be different threads. Right? If she opened any case, like if she opened a case called A1, one thread will be created for her, for the case A1. For A2, there will be a different thread. Okay. Now, if you keep the scope of a data page as thread level, what will happen? The data present on a data page will be accessible only for that particular thread. Okay, this is related to data access. Who can access the data? Now, if you keep a scope of a data page as thread level, that data page, that data present in a data page is only accessible by that particular thread. Okay. When in which scenario you will keep a thread level data page. Suppose the data page contains information regarding an address. Okay. The address of a customer. Okay. The address will differ from each customer to customer, right? Suppose you are using this Pega application in Flipkart delivery service or something. Okay. Now the address information, we are storing it on a data page. Okay. Now this address is actually this address is unique for each and every operator, right? You cannot say this address is something like general information. This is a case context information. Case context sensitive, they will say. What is case context sensitive? It will be sensitive information for each and every thread. Suppose she has created a case called A1. Okay, for A1 case, I am the customer. For I have actually called a customer care of Flipkart and I have raised a complaint. Okay, they have created a case called A1 for my address. Okay, there is some delivery related issue. They have created some case called A1. Now that address information will be stored in a clipboard under a data page. You have to keep the database scope as a thread level. Okay, the thread level means the address will be different for each and every operator, like each and every thread.
Yeah, actually, you said that the in here, requester is the operator, right?
Yeah, requesters means operators, like whoever the operators are logged into a particular application.
Yeah. So in that case, this is specific to the operator or this is specific to the case?
No, see, it is not specific to an operator, right? See, if suppose you have logged in, okay, and you are getting so many calls through a customer care, like so many people are calling you, you need to do some delivery changes or order related changes to a delivery location. Okay, now the delivery address is context sensitive to that particular call, right? Who has called the customer, it will be context sensitive to that particular thread.
Okay.
You cannot say it is in a requester scope, and you cannot map same address to all the customers who
Right.
called you, right?
Right. Okay,
The
understood.
the data present on the data page, you have to identify first, okay? How the data will be there. Like, is it the same for all the cases, or it will update for each and every case, or it will be same for particular region? Suppose you are working in it from India, okay? You are working from India. There will be so many uh, airlines, right? Suppose it's an Emirates or Air India or any airlines, it will be present in different locations, right? If suppose there is some data which is related to airlines, suppose the data is related to only Andhra Pradesh, okay, only Andhra Pradesh or Maharashtra, then the server who has logged into that particular Andhra Pradesh server or Maharashtra server, there will be so many servers for an application, right? You cannot host on a single server. So if suppose there is a server for Andhra Pradesh, okay, now the customers who have calling from Andhra Pradesh, they can use that particular information. Like, that information is a general information to the people who are in Andhra Pradesh, okay. Now that one you can keep a requester scope so that each and every person, like who is calling from Andhra Pradesh, the customer care operator IDs can use that particular information. Like, suppose there is some different customer care numbers for Andhra Pradesh, then you can keep the data on Andhra Pradesh for a requester scope. Okay. Now, for all the cases, what was that particular requester is creating, he can use that. Generally, requester is least used. Okay, requester is least used. People will use thread and node. Okay. And
Yeah.
next thing is a node level database. Suppose there is a very generic information. Suppose you are storing your application URLs. Like, whenever you are doing integration, you need to store you need to store uh, URL called endpoint URL. What is an endpoint URL? The URL which you will hit it. Like, whenever you are doing any request or response, or whenever you're doing any connect rest calls or connect SOAP calls, you need to hit an endpoint URL, right? That endpoint URL is same for each and every application. Like, it will be same for across the globe, right? Suppose you need to hit a facebook.com. Suppose I'm just telling, if you are hitting a facebook.com, that facebook.com URL is same for across the globe for this application, right? It is a very general information. Like, those kind of data you will keep in a node level. You understand? Suppose there is an information called countries and capitals. Okay, suppose for India it's Delhi, for USA it's something Washington, like that. If you have some countries and capitals, that is a very general information, right? It is not related to any operator, or it is not related to anything. So that information you can store it on a node level database. Any questions here? Node level?
No.
It's fine, right? Thread
Yeah.
requester and scope. Node is like granting access to all the operators. You will grant the access to data, the common data. Okay, node is a server, right? If you keep the database scope as a node level, then what will happen? All the operators present in that particular node can access the same data. Okay. If the scope is a thread level, then it will be differ for each case itself. It will change the data for case by case. If it is a requester level, all the threads in that particular requester, suppose Sonali is a requester, she is having some 5 threads open, like A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, 5 cases. Now all the 5 cases can have the same information. You understand it? If scope is a requester, all the threads can access that data. If it is a node, all the requesters can access the data. If it is a thread, it is a case, and it is a case context sensitive. No one can access that. Only that particular thread can access the data.
I mean, who has developed that one, right? The user.
No, not who has developed. Uh,
I mean,
not
who is a particular operator who is having to access that scope, thread scope?
yeah, correct. Like if suppose you have opened a case called A1, okay, that A1 related data will be present on clipboard, right? Now the data page which is present under A1 can only you cannot access that data from A2. If there is an another case called A2. Now two cases will be having two different data on a clipboard. Got it right?
Yes, yeah.
See, you just understand. Node is a high level. Request inside node you have requester. Inside requester you have threads. Node is nothing but a server. Requesters are nothing but operators who are requesting the data. And the next one is thread. Thread is nothing but a cases. Okay, are the cases the pages which you are opening in a Dev Studio. Now, if you keep it as a node level data page, all the requesters present in that particular node can access that particular data. If you keep it as a thread level data page, all if you keep it as a requester data page, all the threads of that particular requester. If Sonali is a requester, Sonali is having some particular threads in a clipboard. All the threads of that particular requester can access the data. All the threads means the data will be same for requester. If suppose Sonali is a requester, the data will be common for all the cases like A1, A2, A3. If I am a requester, for me the data might be different again. Okay, for me the data might be, it will vary from requester to requester, means operator to operator. Okay, node means the data is common for all the operators. Requester means it will differ from requester to requester, but it will be same for across the threads. Like if suppose I am a requester, I am having 5 threads open. Means the threads means you can assume like cases. Okay, 5 cases I have opened. Now for all the 5 cases, I will be having one common data page for me. Okay, you understand it? Any questions here? If it's a thread level, the data will be changing for each and every thread. If you have opened A1 and you see the data page data, it will be different. A2 will be different. A3 will be different.
Yes,
Understood.
got it.
Now, yeah. Now, if you keep editable or savable, okay, the node level data page is not visible, right? If you keep editable, node is not visible, right? Because if you keep editable, if suppose an operator is making changes to a data page, it will be reflected to each and every other operators, right?
Hmm. Right.
Because the data is accessible by all the operators. So you don't know which operator has exactly made a change. Because in a server, there will be hundreds of operators hosted on that particular server. So if it is an editable data page, if suppose one of operator is making a changes, then other operators might also get reflected those changes, right? And you don't know which operator, why he had made that particular change on a data page, why the data manipulation is done. So whenever you keep editable or savable, the node level will be disappeared. Like you cannot keep the thread as a node level. It's a read only that no one can make any changes. Then only the node level is visible. Any questions here?
No.
This is an interview questions. Okay. What do you know the scope of a data page? Explain me scope, or they will tell explain me with a scenario. Like in which scenario you will use the which particular scope. Okay, this is fine, right? Any questions?
No.
No. It's okay.
Okay. Now, yeah. Now we have a data sources. Okay. What are the sources? You have 5 to 6 sources. Click on the source. So source of a data page. I'll tell you. No. Yeah, here.
Or drop down.
Activities.
Okay.
Yeah, drop. Okay. You have a source of a data page. See, the sources are like, yeah, one data page can have multiple sources. You can see in a if condition came.
Right.
You can write your own condition there. You can add n number. See, below you have plus icon, right? Add alternative source. You click on it. This is also an interview question. Can you add multiple sources to a data page? Yeah, you can add a multiple sources to a data page, but only one source will be active at a point of time. Like whenever particular condition becomes true, then only this one will get set as a source. If suppose first if condition is true, first one will be a source of a database. If second one is true, it will be second. If no condition is true, otherwise, okay. You understand? This is also an interview question. Can you set multiple sources to a data page? Okay, yes, you can set it. Now, if you click on that source, connector, you see these are the sources of an data page. I'll tell you what is a source. Okay. Now, people will not use robotic automation, robotic desktop automation. Click on it. And those two you will not use most. And aggregate sources also was introduced in latest versions of Pega in 8 series. Mostly will not use that also. Aggregate sources also you will not use. Robotic automation and robotic desktop automation is something related to some RPA kind of thing. Will not use those things also. Okay. The main important things are connector, data transform, report definition, lookup, activity, and you can say aggregate sources also. Okay, aggregate sources. Those are the sources of a data page. Now let me tell you what is a source. Okay, data page holds some data, right? Data page holds some data, right? Okay, now how a normal traditional page works. Let's see. Okay, there is a single page called employee data. Okay, if you want to store some data on that particular data page, what you will do? You will either append the data or you will make a changes on a data page, right? Sorry, you will make up changes on that page, right? You will use update page method in data transform, or you will use page copy method, and you will copy the values from one particular page to another particular page, right? If you want to store a data, correct? Am I correct? See what I'm trying to say, there's a single page, okay? There's a single page called employee data. If I want to store a data on employee data, how I will store? I will actually manipulate that page, like using page copy method in activities or using update page method in data transforms.
Yeah.
I will use that one and I will store an information on that page, right? Now, in case of data page, you can directly source it from report definition. You see the report definition. If you keep report definition, okay, and if you keep, see what is it is asking, it is asking name of a report definition. Okay, response data transform. Response data transform is not you keep in otherwise condition. You keep in otherwise, you select report definition. Okay, it is asking response data transform. It's okay. See, if you keep a report definition, what it is asking name of a report definition, right? If you give a name of a report definition, whenever you're invoking this data page, first of all, it will invoke the report definition, okay? And the results you will get, right, from report definition, some list of records. Those list of records will be stored in data page. You understand, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you keep it, so yeah, if you keep source as a connector, try to select connector. It will ask a response data connect rest. Yeah, it is asking for a connect rest. What is a connect rest? You will need to give your connect rest name here. The connect rest integration part. Okay, you need to give your REST API name so that it will invoke this connect rest and it will fetch the data from external database or external system. If suppose you need to show weather information on your particular application, like you need to show weather. Now you will do an integration with some weather application, okay? And you will set this as a source for a data page or something, so that what will happen? It will invoke this connector and it will actually show the information. It will store it on a clipboard on a data page. You can use the data page wherever you want. Okay, these are the sources. You can see there's the activity connector data transform. What will happen if you keep a report definition? A report definition will hit the DB first of all. When you're invoking this data page, if you're calling this database somewhere else. What will happen? It will come here, it will see the source. If the source is report definition, let's say, it will fetch the data from DB, first of all, okay? From DB, where the data has to be stored, it has to store on a clipboard, right?
Mm.
It will store on a data page in a clipboard. Some page has to be
Okay.
there, right, to store a data.
Yeah.
That page will be a data page.
Okay.
Okay, you understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you just go to the sources. Activity lookup is there. Lookup is like OBJ open, okay? If you want to open a single record, it is asking for a class name, right? It will open a
Yeah.
single record. You see what are the other sources? Data transform is there. Yeah, activity is there. Aggregate sources are like, that is a different thing. You will not understand now. It is a page list you need to give here, page list, property name. Yeah, okay. We'll not discuss now. It is. Okay, you understand, right?
Yeah.
What are the sources of
But
data?
here in report definition, we have name, which is the name of report definition,
Yeah,
and this
and
response data transform.
I think what is the response data transform is like whenever you invoke a report definition, okay? Normal general report definition, okay? That report definition data will be present on py report content page, okay? One page will be found in a clipboard called py report content page, okay? I think you need to map the data from that page to your data page here. In the
Okay.
response, you have to map it. That is what I'm thinking, but I never saw this option. I saw,
Maybe
so,
it's
oh,
newly introduced in
yeah, can you go to data pages once? Data
data
page, yeah,
pages.
instance. Search with filter, you click on filter. You enter data table, data table, data table, and click on apply. No, what you have searched data
Data
table,
table.
right? Go to your data types on the left side. You have data types, right? No, yeah, data types. No items. Oh, this is a not a this is a personal edition, right? It's okay. I will go through that once. Mostly, I never saw that response data transform. Might be it was introduced. Okay. Now, what we are discussing, yeah, the sources, right? Okay. Now we have a sources. We have a data. The data is there on it will load the data on a clipboard. Now it has to load on demand. Okay. It should not load whenever it want. Okay. It has to
Yeah.
load the data on clipboard whenever we say to load. Okay. Then only it has to load. Now if you go to load management tab, no, you don't keep that as a node level. I think it is something wrong if you give it thread level. So no. I think you have a selected yeah. Go to that
Should I
definition.
refresh it?
Yeah, refresh. Yeah, got it. Now use what you have selected. First, you have selected thread level, right? Yeah.
Request.
You select thread level. Okay, now you have selected thread level. Now, what is the refresh strategy is there? Reload once per interaction. Okay, now let me say you what is reload once per interaction. Suppose you are passing a parameters to a data page, okay? You are passing any params to a data page. Params in the sense like filtering. You have a list of records, like you have India and all you have all the countries and all the capitals. Now you are passing a country name as a parameter. It has to filter it out. If you have passed India, it has to show Delhi. Now reload once. If you select reload once per interaction, what will happen? If you select India, it will show you Delhi. If you select some other Sri Lanka, it will show you Colombo. Okay. Now, in a similar manner, if you didn't select the reload per interaction, what will happen? If you select Delhi, it will show you, sorry, if you select India, it will show you Delhi. If If you selected Sri Lanka, still it will show Delhi only. Okay. If you have selected any other country, it will not get refreshed. The reload will not happen. You have to reload the data page for every interaction. Interaction in the sense like it has to reload it for every invocation. Suppose if you observe the ClickBuzz page, okay, there is a cricket website that is called ClickBuzz. If you open that ClickBuzz for each and every cricket match, okay, for each and every cricket match, for ball to ball, the page will get updated. Okay, for ball to ball, the page will get updated for some time only. It will update like that for some 10 minutes or like that. After that, the invocation will stop. You have to manually reload it. If you haven't interacted with that system, if you are not clicking on screen or if you're not hovering on it, it will not get reloaded. The page will become stale. If the page has become stale, the data will not get refreshed. Now, if you keep reload once per interaction, what will happen? It will reload every time when you interact with that screen. If you're showing some information on screen through data page, okay, you observe the table layout contains a source as a data page, right? When
Yeah.
we're discussing regarding sections, the layouts, the table layout has a source as a data page. You have three sources: property, report definition, and data page.
Right.
If you are sourcing with data page, okay, if you are sourcing the table layout with data page, then what is happening if you selected reload once per interaction? Then what happens if the user is trying to interact with the system based on a time or something? Whenever the data gets updated, it will reloading in the sense it will call the source every time. Once reloaded, it will call the source. Suppose you take a cricket page only. You have selected reload once per interaction. Then what happens? If you have interacting with the system, then what happens? It will invoke a source one time. It may be a connectorized, it may be a report definition, it may be an activity. It will invoke a source and it will get a fresh data from the source and it will store on a clipboard. Or else if you are changing the parameters, if you are updating the parameters, then what happens? If you have passed India, then what happens? It will invoke a source again. It will invoke, it may be whatever the source it may be, it will invoke and it will get the fresh data. Now, what is happening? Reload per interaction means it will invoke each and every time whenever you get into it or whenever you have passed different parameters. You understand it? Reload per interaction. It will interact. Whenever you are interacting, it will reload. Okay. Any questions, please? Reload per interaction.
It's clear.
Okay.
Clear.
And next one. Yeah, you have a when rule. Do not reload when it's a when rule. Whenever that when rule becomes true, then it will get reloaded. Okay, the page will get reloaded. Now you have reload the folder then. Reload the folder then is something of you need to give mention days, time, minutes, and all. Suppose you are getting weather information. Okay, there is a connector. Okay, the source of a database some integration. The connector you are fetching a weather information from a third party website. Okay, now what will happen? The weather will not change from minute to minute, right? It will not change suddenly, right? It will change for something like for 15 minutes, or it will change in some half an hour, right? From sunny to cloudy or cloudy to rainy. It will not change in seconds, right? It will be updated in some minutes or some 30 minutes span of time, right? Now, in such scenario, what you will do, reload if older than 30 minutes. You will keep it as 30 minutes. Then what will happen? Until 30 minutes, it will show the same data. Okay, it will show us some 30 degrees and sunny only. Okay, after 30 minutes, if you interact with the system, then only it will reload. Okay, after it will not just reload at 31st minute. It will show the same data until 40 minutes, until 50 minutes. It will show the same data. Once user interacts with the system, interacts in the sense like he has to open that section or he has to load the data page or he has to click some button like show weather information, some button. On button, you can call a data page like that. If he interacts with the system, then only it will modify the data. Until unless it will not refresh the data, you have to demand it there. Like I need to show information. You just invoke it like that. You understand? Reload the folder then, right? Like you have to mention a specific days or time here. After that particular time, it will reload the data only if you have interacted with the system. Only if you have interacted with the system. See, there will be interview scenarios dependent on here, right? Okay. What one of an scenario is like they will ask, suppose there is an user, okay? The data page is configured with 30 minutes of reload time. Now he has opened this data page in Google Chrome browser, okay? Google Chrome browser. Okay, now after 20 minutes, okay, he has opened that he has opened it 4 o'clock. After 10 minutes, he has actually working on application for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, he left the application. He came back at 4:20. Now he has opened the application in a Microsoft Edge browser, some other different browser. He has left Google Chrome like that. Then what will happen? After 20 minutes, will the data will get reloaded or will not get refreshed? Yeah, let me repeat again. There is an user, okay? He has logged into an application at 4 o'clock. He has worked on an application. He has interacted with an application till 4:10. Okay. Now here the refresh strategy is for 30 minutes, configured for 30 minutes. Now he has left the application until 4:20. Like he went for a break, something, he left the application like that until 4:20. He came back to his system. He has opened the new browser and he has logged into the application back. He has actually left that Google Chrome like that, and he has came to Microsoft Edge and he has logged into application. Now, will it show the same data or the D page will get refreshed?
The depress will be refreshed. I mean, sorry, it is the same page.
It won't get
Why?
refreshed because it's set for 30, right?
We have set for 30. Now, what is happening here is like the session is actually changing, right? If you open any page on a Google Chrome or any browser, it will create a session ID in the background for each and every page. Session ID in the background. Now, what is happening? The session ID is changing. Whenever the session ID is changing, it will think like the user is changing or he has changed some application or some settings, and it will reload the data. You understand? There is a session ID.
Even for the same
Okay.
operator.
Yeah, even for a same operator. See,
Okay.
he has see, if he has logged in through Chrome only, then might be it will not change. But he has changed the browser itself, right? Now the
Right.
time will start again from the beginning. Like it will reload and the 30 minutes will take to refresh.
Yes, yes. In that cases,
Okay.
like changing the different browser, yes, definitely it will not be at the
Yeah,
same
that is
page.
the interview. Yeah,
Yes.
that is the interview. These type of questions they will ask. Okay, see, this will not generally impact any your knowledge or anything. Just they will understand how much level deep you have understood the concept. You got it right? What I'm trying to say.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
just for understanding. Like, see, there is no much issue if it has reloaded once also, but they will just ask these type of questions. Like, if the user is logging in from different session or different location, they will say. So, what are the location? Like, if the session ID changes, it will mostly it will reload. Okay. Now, what we have discussed, like one more thing I need to say, thread requester and scope is there, right? Whatever you keep the scope, if you keep the thread level scope, it will reload most times. If you keep the node level scope, it will not refresh. Like whatever the scope may be, the functionality of an application will be same. Okay. If you keep for a thread level pages, if you keep a node as a scope, the functionality will not impact. Still, the data page works as same. But what is the issue is like performance is the issue, and the data access is the issue. Unnecessarily, you are giving data access to all operators. You understand it, what I'm trying to say? Whatever the scope may be, the functionality of a data page will not get changed. Functionality still remains the same. But the issue is with performance and the issue is with the loading of a data page. Confused?
No, it
So,
will be slowed down. Multiple
Yeah,
users.
it will
Yes.
slow down. So the scope you need to give it careful, like looking into your performance of your application. Okay, you understand the load management tab, right?
yeah.
And you have clear data page, right? Why you will use clear data page is like, let me tell you, if you are in a production, okay, the code is deployed to production, okay. Now the source of a data page is something your source of a data page is something your report definition, let's assume. Now you have updated some values in production in report definition, okay. You have updated some values in your database, okay. Now you have configured the refresh strategy for 5 days. Let's assume you have configured this strategy for 5 days, okay. And the source is and the scope is a node level data. And the scope is a node level data. Now you have made some changes in a database, right? Some that's a common data. It will not update it every time, but you have changed it somehow, like due to sometimes what happens, the endpoint URLs and all will get updated based on your certificates and all. Okay, so might be for some reason you have changed the data. It is a node level data page, and the refresh strategy is actually configured for 5 days. Okay, now you have changed the data in DB, right? So whenever the people are interacting with a data page, it will not get show the latest information. It will still show the old information only because it has already invoked a source and it is stored on a clipboard. Until 5 days is reached, it will not show the new information for the operators. You got my point, what I'm trying to say? See, in 30 minutes, if you are referring the data page, it will not hit the source. It will show the data which is present in a clipboard. It will load the data and it will store it on a clipboard once. Okay. Until unless the time is reached, it will not hit the source. It will fetch the data. It will pull the data from clipboard only. That is what
Temporarily it will refresh the same page. It will not connect it to the source data
yeah.
like a server what is updated
Yeah,
until
that is the
30 minutes.
main. Yeah, that is the main advantage of data pages. See, whenever you invoke a data page, it will not hit the source every time. It will not hit. See, if it is hitting the source every time, why should you use a data page? You can directly use report definition only at every point of time. Or you can store it from report definition only. Why again sourcing it to data page? Why again you are using a data page? The data page concept is like it will load the data once, it will store the data in a clipboard, it will not hit the data, it will not hit the source until unless the refresh strategy is reached. It will only, if you are suppose pulling any information before the refresh strategy is reached, it will pull the data from the clipboard. First time it has stored in a clipboard, right? That data only it will pull. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So now if the refresh strategy is 5 days and the source is an report definition, now something has modified in a DB. Now the users are referring a data page. Since the refresh strategy is not yet reached, it will not hit the source. It will store the old information only to all the users. You got my point?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it is showing a wrong information, right? It is not showing a
Yeah.
latest information. Now what people will do in production support team, or there will be some L3 L4 support teams, they they will log into production. They will click on clear data page. You have an option here, the clear data page, right? You select that one, you click on the clear data page, it will ask to flush. You click on that button is there, na page management.
Down.
Yeah, this
Is
button.
it not visible?
Yeah, now it's visible. Okay, it is asking to flush the data page. Flush means it will remove all the data, and whenever the users are interacting, since the data is not there on a data page, it will reload the fresh data. It will hit the source again. You select that one and you flush it, submit it.
That means it's like a concept like clearing the browsing cache. Right?
Yeah, clearing the cache memory, or you can assume like anything, like you are clearing a memory from clipboard, basically. It's not a cache memory. See, page successfully removed from the clipboard. Now the page itself is not there on a clipboard. So what happens whenever the user is trying to see the data on a data page, or if he's trying to do any manipulation or something like it will load the data freshly. Freshly means it will invoke, it will load the data freshly. Now all the users will get new data, fresh data. You understand what is the use of
Yes,
clear data page?
yes.
Clear data page will helps to remove the old data, and it will use to fetch a new data. Like, see, for doing a clear data page, you no need to do private edit. You no need to do any code changes and all. It's just a button. You need to click it. Even if in a production also you can do it. Like, if they told to you to do as a as a as a support team, you will have this dev access. You can do it, clearing a data on a data page. Any questions
Okay.
till now?
No.
You understand, right? The definition, that's why the definition will be like data pages are used to load a data onto clipboard on demand. On demand means based on refresh strategy. Whenever the refresh strategy is reached, it will not directly reload. You have to interact. Then only it will load the data. Any questions in go to definition tab? Yeah, any questions here? Page structure, mode. You have one more concept called keyed access pages. Can you select, okay, can you select list type? List. You see keyed page access, okay? This is not required at this point of time, okay? I'm not touching this one, okay? Keyed access pages. Keyed page access, okay? This one I'm not touching. If you click on add key, it will ask for page list property. Can you click on add key? It will ask for a property, yeah, page list properties and all. But okay, I'm not touching this one. I'm not making the things complex. At this point of time, you really don't require this thing, okay? If you need, we'll see in the end of a session, because you just note this one. If we need, I'll try to explain you in the end of a session, like end of all the practical implementation, so that you will have some better understanding. People will ask in interviews this one also. What is keyed page access?
Okay.
Okay. Parameters, pages, and classes are similar to each and every rule you have for activities and all, right?
That last one, simulate data source, means is it
Yeah.
useful or?
Yeah, let me tell you what is a similar data source. Okay. Suppose you are making an integration with any other external system. Suppose you are doing an integration with a weather application. Okay. What are the request parameters for weather application? Request parameters might be your location or your pin code, right? If you give your pin code, it will return your temperature, and it will return the climate type, right? What is the climate type? Sunny, cloudy, rainy. It will return that one, and it will return the temperature, right? That is a basic, right? When you request for something, it will give a response, right? So if suppose still that connect rest integration, that URLs and all are not given to you. Suppose you just assume. Sometimes in applications, what happen? The connect rest will get delayed. You will not get the endpoint URLs and all. Then you can simulate the data. If you select simulate data source, it will ask for data transform. Simulate. See, it is asked for data transform. What is the meaning of this? Like in data transform, you will hard code it for just for testing purpose. Like you will hard code the temperature equal to 40 degrees. You will keep set method there in data page. Sorry, in a data transform, you'll keep set method. Temperature is equal to 40 degrees, and the temperature and the climate type is equal to some sunny. And actually, you'll develop entire your application like for testing purpose and all. Every time you will get 40 and sunny only, and it will do the reloading and all like that only. You are simulating it. You are not getting actual data. You are hard coding it somewhere, and you are simulating a data. So whenever your integration part is ready, whenever you build your integration part, you will just come here and you will change the source to connect rest. You will change the source. You will actually uncheck the simulate data source, and you will change the source of a device to connect rest. Okay, without waiting for external system, like without waiting for other people to provide you the details and all, it will get delayed sometimes. It will take months of time, like 1 month or 2 months. So until waiting at that particular time, you will simulate it. You will get a sample request, like a and sample response. This is the response you will get. They will give you. So based on a response, you will hard code a data using data transform, and you will do your development. Whenever you run this data transform or invoke the data transform, the simulated data will show you every time, whatever, whenever you invoke it. You understand it? What I'm trying to simulate is like it will simulate the data. It will not give a real time data. It is for a simulation purpose, like whenever it is down or something.
Yeah.
You understand it?
Yes. And what is
Yes,
this post-load processing?
Yeah, post-load processing is like, see, you are getting a data from external system. You are getting a data from phone numbers and all the details of employees, like email address, phone number, name, and all the data from external system. Okay. Now you need to validate the data you are getting from other system, right? It they may be validated the data or not. You don't know, right? That is a different application. Now you are getting from that application to your application. Your application needs to be like your application needs to be consistent. Like the data you are showing must be correct data. So at the time, what you will do, post-load process. After you load the data page, you will validate or you will manipulate here. Post-load means after loading, you will do some kind of processing. Like you can manipulate a data page, or you can sort the data page, or else you will validate a data in a data page. Whatever thing you need, you can do it, and then only it will store it on a clipboard. After post loading is done, it will store that data. Suppose you are getting a employee name and employee salary. Okay, you need to store the data on a clipboard, not in a random way. You have to store it from ascending to descending based on employee salary. Now you will do that thing in post-load processing. Whenever the data is loaded, it will execute the below activity. That is an activity. You click on down arrow. Those are all activities. You select one thing and try to open it. Those are all activity rules, okay? All the application activity rules. Yeah, click on that icon. Yeah. You are doing post-loading. This is an activity. You can write your own manipulations and all here. You understand it? Post-load
Yeah.
processing. Any questions here? Query options is not required. Allow query using JSON recommended. That is not required. Go to load management tab. Do you have any option like limit to single data page? No, I think that is removed. Okay. Any questions on data pages? Like go through the data pages once. Okay, now I'll tell you one thing. Savable data page is there, right? The savable data page will not just save the data page. You have to explicitly invoke it. You have to explicitly call. Then only it will save the data. You let. I think
Okay.
you can invoke it from flow action. Let me also check it once. You expand the process. Process is there, right? Process below. Somewhere you will have a flow action. Yeah, open flow action. Open any flow action. Go to actions tab. Action third tab. Come down.
At data page.
Come down. No, not that. Come down.
Okay.
Come down. Can I click on that indicator? Local and connected is there. No, click on that. Local action you give. No, click on the indicator. Okay, 1 second. Click on add data page there. Somewhere there are 2-3 places. Okay, where savable data pages here you have. Na? Here you have to save. You have to add a data page here. Similarly, you have 2-3 places. Okay, see then only the data will get saved. If you have added here, we'll discuss the flow action concept. Then we'll go through this. Similarly, you have 2-3 places how you can save a data page. It will not just save like that. We have to invoke it from somewhere, from flow action or some data. See, those are things you let me know. Okay, I know one more place, but I don't know how many are there total. But these two I know. This is also an interview question. They will ask like, will the data page will save automatically? No, it will not save automatically. You need to invoke it from somewhere else, like from flow action or other places. Okay.